Hello and welcome back to my series of videos on Node.js. We've been creating a timestamp microservice project inspired by the FreeCodeCamp curriculum. If you missed any of my videos, go ahead and go back, take a look at that to catch up. We're basically at the tail end of the project and are looking to deploy. We'll use a service called Heroku, a common service to deploy our Node.js application. Just a overview of the project and what we went over in previous videos. We did environment setup, introduction to routes, route parameters, and serving some index.html, some static index.html in the previous videos. And in this video, we'll deploy to Heroku. The first thing I want you to do is go ahead and Google Heroku Node. This is the first article that should show up straight from the Heroku Dev Center. And if you scroll down in this article, you'll see a download and run installer for your platform. They have Mac OS, Windows, and Ubuntu. So go ahead, go to that blog in Heroku Dev Center and install the appropriate Heroku CLI or command line interface to your OS. I imagine that you installed the Heroku CLI correctly. If you did, you should be able to type in Heroku help, just like that, and you'll see the help show up, and it'll tell you exactly what version of the Heroku CLI you're working with. Let's go back to the article here, and you'll see that we'll need to log into our Heroku CLI. Obviously, before you log in, if you do not have a Heroku account, please make one now. So let's go to our CLI. We'll type in Heroku log in. I'm already logged in. Press any key to open up the browser, right? And maybe I'm not logged in. So it'll take you to the browser. Click login. I guess I was logged in because they didn't ask for my account credentials. If they go ahead and ask for your account credentials, just fill it in and close the page, and it should take you back to the CLI, and you'll see that I'm logged in just like that. The next thing we'll need to do is initialize our Git repository. So first type in Git init, and you'll see initialized Git repository in whatever the directory you're in. It looks a little different for me because I'm already using Git for this project. And then we'll want to type in Git, no, before we type that, I apologize, create a Git Ignore by running touch.git ignore or using your text editor. Go to Git Ignore and type in node module. What that'll do is ignore the node modules folder when you're making commits to Git. Basically, you don't push up all those files inside node modules. But you don't want these in your Git repository. It's a lot of files that are needless because you can simply run npm install from your package.json and get those node modules downloaded into your local machine. After we write node modules in our Git Ignore, let's go back to our CLI and write git add period, just like that. And then we'll write git commit -m initial commit, or whatever commit message. Your commit message should be in double quotes. Press enter, and you should have committed to your Git repository. Again, this is not what you'll see because I've already committed to my Git repository and I have no changes. After initializing your Git repository, you'll want to create a application on Heroku, and that's simply done by running Heroku create. After that runs, you should be able to type in git remote -v, and you'll see that there is a Git repository set up for you on Heroku where you can push your changes over up to the Heroku branch. Last thing we'll want to do is create a file called PROC file. This is a capital P, and we'll want to enter a set of instructions that Heroku should use to start our application. In our case, npm start is used to run our application, as you see here. So in the proc file, just write npm start, save that, and you'll also want to git add the proc file, git commit, add proc file. Ooh, I had a nice little message. Add proc file for Heroku deployment. There, and we can git push Heroku master. This will take a while. Just sit back, relax, grab a Snickers, and I'll be right back after that is deployed. Okay, great. So everything has deployed on my end. You'll see something here. It says Fierce River 94261.herokuapp.com has been deployed to Heroku. Your app name will be something different than Fierce River 94261. With everything deployed, now it's time to open our application and see if the deployment is successful. Let's type in Heroku open, and this should take you back to your browser and open up the application inside of your browser. You'll see that we have an application error and that we can check the logs to see what's going on. Normally, you'd see videos cut out any errors and make their videos perfect. However, I feel that's not fair to you, the viewer. You should see me make mistakes. You should see me debug. So this is what I'll do right here. So let's copy Heroku Logs --tail, paste that into our CLI. And this will give us a system log and the error message to see why it crashed. You'll see here that it timed out because the web process, i.e. our node server, failed to bind to $port. Now what $port is an environment variable that lives over in Heroku, over in the Heroku box, over on the actual physical Heroku server. And we need to bind to that variable. Let's open up our index.js, and we bind to the port number down here, app.listen 8000. However, what I'm doing here is I'm just passing arbitrarily 8000. Instead, we should create a variable called port number, where we take in the environment variable called port, or use 8000 as a default if this environment variable does not exist. Now, process.env.port is how we get the environment variable in Node. And here, let's say we're listening to port a number, and down here, let's use a template string to just output port number instead of just 8000. Let's get out of the Heroku log. Let's commit our changes. So use environment variable for port number. And let's run the same git push Heroku master one more time. And again, this will take a while. I'll be right back. So again, it looks like the Node application successfully deployed onto Heroku, so there are no errors in the build stage or the build step or anything like that. However, let's run Heroku Logs --tail to take a look at the most recent logs. So it's listening on port 7733, not 8000, 7733. So that tells me that it did find the environment variable that Heroku is using. Let's now use Heroku open. And there it is. There's our timestamp microservice for the entire world to see. You can literally copy this URL, show it to your parents, show it to your friends, show it to your wife, show it to your husband, show it to your partner, show it to anyone that cares. Show them the timestamp microservice that you created with this set of videos. Congratulations, I know this video was a bit more advanced. If I lost you, if you have any questions, please leave your questions in the comments below. If you liked my video, please click subscribe, please subscribe to notifications, please tell your friends, and please even comment. I'd love to hear from you. But until next time, this is the Web Dev Coach. Peace.